Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is MFL Total Access. That's Terry Babalis. This is Willpower. And see, we got our grading glasses on, folks.
Yep. Let's not waste too much time. This is a long episode.
Just us two today. Job's on probation. I think he wasn't getting paid enough. And, that's about it. You gotta remember,
We didn't want the episode to be 10 hours long.
Yeah, preach for reals. This already episode is going to be pretty long.
Yeah. If you have more space, you can go a little more there.
Yeah, perfect. Alrighty.
A little more.
Alright, let's go. Thanks for
Move.
the point. I'll be able to see you.
You can't see me?
Yeah, you're good. Really rainy this weekend.
Yeah.
Congrats to everybody who played and balled out, and hopefully it's not gonna rain this much this weekend.
So let's start. You want to go ahead and explain your weird way of doing the grades?
Yes, so I grade like a normal person would grade. Terry's, well, there's A, B, C, D, obviously with the pluses and the minuses. My grade is based on partly expectation, not solely expectation.
Should we not do plus minus and just go straight?
No,
okay.
you do plus minus. It's not solely expectation. Like if you're 6-0 and I thought you were going to be 6-0, I'm not going to give you a C because you deserve more than a C. It's a bit of expectation, how you're doing lately, your strength of schedule, players in your team, where I see you're headed, and margin of victory or defeat, stuff like that. Terry's way is a little bit more different. He does solely based on expectations. So if it's exactly what you thought you'd be, then you'd be a C. So not much really to it.
So let's say a team 6-0.
Yeah.
But their 6 wins come against the 6 worst teams of the league by 1 point. What will you give them? Like they clearly struggled. It's not a pretty 6-0.
A minus.
A minus.
Yep. What did Mom always say? Thank you very much. For those of you who don't know, an ugly win is better than a pretty loss.
So a team that's 5-2, but that was supposed to be a 500 team, and they end up being like 5-2.
Do they have 2 more losses than the other team?
Yes.
So they're not getting the same grade.
So what are you gonna give them?
B plus.
So basically, you're basing it on standings.
It also depends on who they've beaten.
So basically, you're looking at the standings, right?
It also depends on who they've beaten, margin of victory, where they're headed, yada yada yada.
Well, that's why I gave you 2 examples. The team that's 6-0, their margin of victory is very slim against who they beat. You said shit teams.
Yeah.
Team that's 5-2 was maybe projected to go 500, and they won games that they weren't supposed to win, and you're giving them an inferior grade to the first team.
Correct.
So what's the difference between your grading system and just looking at the standings? Because the team that's 6-0 has the A minus, and that's 5-2 has the B.
Well, the 5-2 would also depend on, like you said, who they beaten and how many points they beaten them by, and who they lost to and how many points
But
they
I think
lost
it's
them
an
by.
impressive,
Like an impressive 5-2.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't say that. Well, I mean, then I have to do a little bit more research.
But an impressive 5-2 would be what? Like at best, a 5-2 team. What's the highest grade you could get?
I mean, if they were supposed to be like 0-7, then I give them an A. But if you're saying they're 500, they're 5-2, it's not like they're 7-0.
So you still give them a B.
Maybe a B plus.
So to answer my question, what's the difference in your grading system and looking at the standings?
I just said, bro, you got to factor in the last few games. You got to factor in who they beaten.
But even
They beaten
factoring
them
that in,
by.
you're still giving them...
No, because you base it solely on your expectations. I mean, you got to take a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, not just column A, bro.
So, to me, if your record is what I expected it to be at this point in the year, I'll give you a C.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous?
What if it was a team that was, let's say Bearhood, for example.
Yes.
They're 6-1.
Yes.
You give them a C.
No, because they've been like literally like demolishing teams. So it'd be higher than that. They've still been better than what I expect them to be.
Okay, say Sour Peeps, for example.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to this later on because we're doing them.
But
to me, that makes no sense to give a team that's undefeated a grade of C.
Well, what if they only won close games and they barely beat teams that they're supposed to win by a lot?
I think, again, an ugly win is better than a pretty loss.
I just feel that what you're giving the grades is literally you go in the standings, you give A plus to A minus to the top 3 teams, then B plus to B minus to the 3 teams after that, and then the teams that are at the bottom of the standings are going to get like a D and an F. Like, based on your grading system, like we'll see what it's going to turn out to be, but I feel it's going to be like A, B, C, D as soon as you go down the standings.
It's too simple, bro.
But that's literally what you're doing.
No, I think it depends on, like I said, it also depends on the last few games as well and where they're headed.
You're not even going to look at the team schedule.
Well, bro, I haven't memorized all here. Come on, we gotta stop painting. But yours is way too simple.
Sorry?
Yours is way too simple.
It's not simple at all.
I think it's the simplest thing of all time.
Like, okay, a team that you thought would be like an average team in the pack.
Yeah.
Like when you think of D5, you think that that's clearly a D5 team.
Yeah.
And they perform as clearly a D5 team. And they're 3-3 right now. What's their grade?
I mean, again, obviously.
Yeah, but there's on average, well, like
it probably would be around a C or a C plus.
Okay,
Yeah, but that's a team that's 500. That's not a team that's 6-0.
So you're just saying because they have a nicer record and because they have a better record.
But at the end of the day, is the record not the most important?
Yeah, but that's why there's something called the standings.
Yes.
Classement in French.
Yes.
You go on the website and you can just do that.
But
we're going to talk for like 2 hours now. Might as well give some insights and not just let them go click on standings.
Agreed. But we're going to provide a little bit of analysis. A little bit of analysis,
Okay.
right? But I think at the end of the day, the standing is the most important.
You agree with me that example of 500 team would be a C about, right?
Yeah, C, C plus, C minus, depending on who they played.
Because the record is average or because they performed averagely to the average expectation that you had for them?
Both.
Okay.
Can't win them all, folks. Just can't win them all.
Let us know what you guys, how you guys think we should grade you guys. Because if I'm listening to Will Power's grades right now, I'm just going to the
You're
standings.
impressed.
And I'll go like, look, okay, well, Sourpiece are 5-0. We know Will's going to give them an A, right? Because they're 5-0. Kiss My Pass is 1-5. Will's probably going to give them a D, maybe a D minus, right? So
maybe around there. No team at 1-5 deserves more than a C plus.
What if that team was like a free agent team that showed up to the field and didn't know what sport they were playing?
If they played 4 players and they were all under 2 feet tall, they don't deserve better than a C plus.
So like Master Chiefs that were like 0-3 with like a -3 differential.
See, that's a little bit different.
Oh, okay. We just said no team.
What?
You just said no team.
No, but they're not 0-3 now. They found ways to win.
Okay. Let's start with...
I gotta rebuttal for everything, bro. Keep throwing those punches.
Let's start with Division 5.
To 5.
Let's go with my Balzac Ertz.
Alright, so 3-3, C. Next. No. I'll start. I saw these guys play, and this is exactly what I'm... God is good, bro. You couldn't have scripted a better team for me to start with. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is a team that's 3-3 right now. They started off 0-3, and they're heading in the right direction. I reffed one of their games. I believe it was exactly their first game, their first victory against Weekend Warriors. They won 21-0. Very impressive victory. I felt they could have won by even more. They took their foot off the gas a little bit. This is a team that's heading in the right direction. This is a team that's had impressive wins against the Legendaries, against Kiss My Pass, who, yes, ultimately Kiss My Pass is not a great team, but I think they're better than the record indicates. Weekend Warriors are a solid squad. We've seen that the last few games. I like where this team is headed. A few head-scratching losses against Los Politos. That one, losing 26-20 is a little bit...
Weekend Warriors heading in the right direction, you said?
Weekend Warriors? I mean, they're putting up points. Look, they scored 37, 31, 20. They put up a lot of points. I like this team. I like this team a lot. Balzac Ertz, I'm going to give them a B.
A B?
Yep.
I agree with the B.
Oh, wow. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
This team has a really, really underrated defense. Mm-hmm. Averaging under 15 points a game in Division 5, that's great. Like, even in their 3 losses, they didn't give up a lot of points. And in their 3 wins, 24 points against in those 3 games. That's, like, crazy. That's going to win you a lot of games.
Yep.
Luca's been getting a lot better as a passer and a runner.
Yeah.
I saw him, like, scrambling a few times this past weekend. It was rainy. He's getting most people involved. I believe it's his little brother, David, leading the way with 7 touchdowns.
Speedster.
Yeah, Guillaume Allo, 11 sacks. I think it was like a later addition on this team.
2 safeties.
Dividends. Yeah, 2 safeties as well. So
big.
I agree with your assessment on this one with a B.
You sure?
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'll take it.
Okay, next up we got Chili Hot Dogs sitting at 2 and 4. I'll go first.
Yeah, sure.
Alternate, okay?
Yeah, good call.
So this was a free agent team, so we always kind of cut them some slack. But it's a pretty stacked free agent team with the Samar, I believe, brothers, who used to play on the Washington Foreskins. They got Jaden Hogan.
He's good, yeah.
You got the other players as well who are maybe more newer to the league, but just the trio of those guys and their experience, I would have been expecting a little more. Now, I know Etienne did miss a game, but they had Alexis Ferrand fill in for him for that game at quarterback. I'm going to go with like a D+.
D+.
Yeah, now you're going to say it's harsh, but don't forget they're 2 and 4, so based on your thing...
That's true. I mean, 2 and 4 is not all that bad. I'm going to go with a C-. I think that their last loss against Improbable... Look, it was funny. I was speaking to Alex the Rush after, and he was like, you know what? You guys picked against us, but I probably would have picked against us too. I feel like a team like Chili Hot Dogs should be able to beat Improbable. I've really been up and down so far this season. I think that's why it's tougher to give them a better grade. Because this team could put up points. The Hot Dogs can. But there's a few games where, like, kind of like Legendary scoring 14 points against them. Losing to Jungle Squad was a big head scratcher. So I'm going to go C-. And I think they got to find a way to be a tad bit more consistent.
Okay. Good pace.
Thank you.
Weekend Warriors, another free agent team.
Yeah. So Originally, Rooney was supposed to be the quarterback for these guys, right?
Yes, but he's dealing with an injury.
Right, exactly. So Eli has quarterbacked, I believe, the last few games for them. And he's been doing really well. I saw the end of the game against Mimosa Crew. That was a freaking high-scoring game, by the way.
Yeah.
44-37.
That's like some Division 1.
I was like, that could be the highest-scoring game in Div 5, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So Weekend Warriors...
Hot 2-0.
They did. They started off 2-0, losing 4 straight. They did, they had a bit of a tough schedule. Look at the schedule. My Ball Sack Hurts, Phoenix, Barrett, Mimosa Crew. These are all teams that are the top 5 at the division. 2-4. I do like the fact that Eli's quarterbacking now. And then if Rooney comes back, obviously that'll be something to deal with. I'm gonna go with a C here. I like a C for these guys. I can't really go much better than that because their record is 2-4 at the end of the day. But they're finding ways to put up points in a division that's not easy to score, and you don't see many points.
Yeah, looking at their last 4 games, they got a couple winnable games there. Sour Peep's obviously the hardest one they got left.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if this team ended 5-5, right?
Yeah, that's well said.
I'm gonna go with a D+ for them as well, just because Rooney / Eli on this team, I feel they should have at least brought them to 500 at this point, right? Like they did drop a few games that probably could have won, right?
Yeah.
Also, it was in their showing, like the game against my boss Zach Ertz, like putting up a big donut.
Yeah.
Are you into your donut, by the way?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Thanks.
You actually hate maple?
Yeah, I don't like maple, bro. I don't like.
You hate maple or you don't like it?
I mean, it's all about Leafs Nation, but I'm not really a big maple fan. Old fashioned glaze, way to go.
Yeah. They did put up 68 points in their last 2 games where they lost.
Yeah.
Which should be enough points to win you like enough games in Division 5. So if they continue like this, I feel they'll come in strong for the playoffs. Our Titans, 1-3.
You first, it's you first, eh?
It's me first?
Yeah, you first.
Let me pull up their schedule.
Losing to Bear Hood, Chili Hot Dogs, winning against Los Palitos, losing this week to Tropic Thunder.
That was a close one against Tropic Thunder.
That
right?
was, yeah.
It's funny because like I feel at the beginning of the season we didn't have that many high hopes for Titans, right? Like,
I kind of did.
Based on what?
But these guys are ballers. Like,
because they've been playing for a long time.
Yeah, they have been playing for a long time.
But they're just too chill. Like they.
Yeah, I know, but like
I feel they play as if they're just playing like backyard football, like with their friends, you know?
Yeah, I know. Like McMahon's a great player. He's, I think he's too good for Division 5. Biddle's also a good player. Like, you look at this team; they're solid. I expected more from these guys, but I want to hear your grade first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a D.
That's exactly what I was gonna give. I'm gonna go with a D. And like, because look at your schedule. Your one win against Los Palitos. It's Los Palitos are maybe getting better, but it's not all that impressive. Tropic Thunder was a game I picked you guys in that one. I think I did, and I was hoping you guys would come off. I think like that would have changed the grade significantly. Tropic Thunder, pretty good team in this division. I was hoping they would win that game. I thought they had the advantage against them. They didn't. But yeah, I think you got to find ways to get Austin the ball, and this team should be better than 1-3 at this point in the season. The schedule don't get any easier either.
Yeah. Next up, the Legendaries. They get like an A+ for their logo and their team name.
Yeah.
But for their performance, I know it's hard. Ben's quarterbacking for the first time. Like great overall player, right? Learning the quarterback position is like probably like the most difficult skill to have like in flag football. He has to protect the ball more. Throwing 14 picks in 4 games, that's not helping him. Mm-hmm. Like, and I know it's very hard. Like it's easier said than done, but really got to protect the ball more. And I'm sure like they're not all on him, right?
Yeah.
Some of those must have been like tip balls or stuff like that. They did get their first win, so I'm happy for that. Mm-hmm. But they got to find a way to put up more points. Like they put up 29 in the loss to Sour Peeps. The next few games, Tropic Thunder, Jungle Squad, Improbable. I could see them going like 500 the rest of the way.
Because look at the teams they lost to, right? Mimosa Crew, Sour Peeps, Bear Hood.
Yeah, like they probably must have like the hardest beginning of the schedule. Then losing by 20 to my ball Zach Ertz, that one should have been a closer one, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a D+.
I go with a D. Okay. I thought we did our preseason article. I remember because I do have expectations as well, and it's part of my grade. I thought they were gonna be one of the better teams in all of the division.
Really?
I really did. I think just having
Ben, Nick,
and Ben Mallet
–
on this team, no matter who's throwing, no matter who's doing what in Division 5, should be enough to win you most games. Let's go, boys. Pick it up. You're better than that.
Next up, we got Jungle Squad.
Fun team.
You look at the differential, it doesn't look great.
No.
Averaging just 11 points a game, giving up 30. They did get that impressive win against Chili Hot Dogs when Alexis Ferrand was quarterbacking. that game. Very, very fun team.
Yeah.
A+++ for like enthusiasm, effort.
I don't even think I know who they are.
You never seen them?
No, I've never ref them. I never score kept them. Let's make it happen this week.
Okay, and they're playing Sour Peeps this week too.
Nice.
It hurts me to give them. Well, like actually no, because like
the Chili Hot Dogs win's impressive. Like,
yeah,
Alexei Bechal may not quarterback, but like he's still a D1 player,
I feel
right?
like I could confidently give them a C, right? Because this is one of the only teams in Division 5 that was completely new from seasons past. Like all the other new teams had a few players that have played in the MFL. This is like literally, even considering our free agent teams, this is the only team that's comprised of all players who've never played in MFL before.
Yeah.
So for them to be sitting 1-4 is already like one win more than I had predicted for them at this point of the season. And their attitude throughout those defeats has just been like great, right? Like the MFL posted a video of I don't know if you saw the Instagram video of one of their players scoring.
Yes.
And like they're all commenting and stuff like that. So it was like it was fun.
That is cool.
So I'm gonna go with the C.
I was gonna go with a C as well. Question for you: how many more wins do you think this team can muster out? Because I think Sour Peeps Legendaries may be tough. I think against Los Politos, that'll be kind of a game that hopefully they could squeak by. Because if they're 2-8 may not be enough to make the playoffs, right?
I don't think they're concerned about making the playoffs at this point. I think they just want to have fun and win another game. I could see them winning definitely one other game.
Yeah.
If they could win 2,
I could see them squeezing another upside. I could see them finishing 3-7. But if I had to guess, I go 2-8 on the year.
Yeah. Los Politos.
So I just ref their game. They played against Bearhood Division 5 team Bearhood.
It's hard. They were missing their best player, right?
Yeah, they were. But Los Politos, it's hard to explain because I feel they have a good squad. I know that their win percentage in MFL is like less than 4%.
Yeah.
But they actually have a decent squad. Sam Shone, obviously, like we talk about, one of the studs of this team.
Have you ever seen a team, when the same player is leading in passing touchdowns and receiving touchdowns? He has the most passing touchdowns and receiving touchdowns on that team.
Someone call out Taysom Hill.
Oh, he was throwing, like, it's a little controversial, right?
That is true.
And he's tied for the most sacks. He has the most interceptions. The only player with a pick 6 on this team.
So in their game against Bearhood, I score kept them once and ref them once, and in both games they switched quarterbacks at halftime. I'm not sure that was the right decision to do. First game, Sam Jalné was quarterback, and then they ended up switching quarterbacks. Second game, it was Benoit Gauvin, I believe he started the game. He had 8 rushes for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's pretty impressive. Good.
He was good. I probably would have stuck with him at quarterback because I think you want to pick a quarterback and try and see what you got with him for the rest of the game. Let him make his mistakes. But no, this team is like, it's hard to say they're good because unfortunately they haven't had the success of winning too many games in the MFL, and they got shellacked this past week, but that's against a really good team.
That's putting it lightly.
I'm going to go with a D just because like their point differential is not great. I think their win against my Boston Hawk is very impressive, so that's why it's not worse than the D. D is not all that great, but...
Yeah, look, if you asked me what Los Politos' record was going to be 5 games into the season, I probably would have said, I think it's going to be 0-5, but I hope it's going to be 1-4, 2-3. So for that, I'm going to go with a C because it's kind of what I thought. Like that one maybe gives them the C+. They do have like 90 points for in those 5 games, which I'm sure is maybe on pace to beat seasons past.
Yeah, probably.
Those 202 points against are probably also on pace to beat.
Well, I mean, they gave up 73 last game, right?
Yeah. Is it your pencil or was it there already?
That's mine.
For real?
No, it's Mike's. I don't know what it is.
Kiss my pass.
Man, I feel like I've been a harsh... I feel like my old French teacher with all these grades.
So they won their first game 30-0 against Jungle Squad. And we got called off for not speaking about them in that game. And they haven't won a game since.
Do they have a different quarterback every week?
No, it's Lesniak, but he's been hurt.
Okay, it's Lesniak, and then it was Abuela Levine, and then it was... Okay. Okay, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So this team has the Bertrand brothers who've played like in higher divisions, right? They have Lesniak who has the experience and like the smarts of like almost any quarterback. Looks like he's been playing with Max forever, right? So I'm sure he uses like many of his plays. I think Jorge subbed a few games for him. He's not actually on the roster. I am surprised to see this team sitting at 1-5 right now. Yeah. I did expect more from them. This was probably one of the free agent teams that had that had a lot of newer players to the league and like to the sport, but we kind of like balance that out by putting a lot of very experienced players, right? Like I don't think there's a player in this division that's as fast as Andre, right? Like
Yeah.
It's hard to disagree with your F.
F.
Yeah, I think it's an F for me too, man.
Really? Even though they won 30-0 their first game.
Yeah, because like this team to me, I would have predicted them to be like a 500 team after like the first 6 games.
Me too.
I know Lesniak's been hurt, but they did have Josh and Simon to sub in for him at quarterback. The games I didn't play, right? And were great D5 quarterbacks, right? If
right.
Not,
and the D1 players, right?
Yeah. This one doesn't play D1, does he?
He could play D1. He probably snap in D1. But like, F is a little harsh. That was a little harsh.
Yeah.
Because you look at they've been fairly competitive, right? Bearhood's a really good team. They lost by 10. Big Booty's lost by 12. Ballsack 12. Like they've never, besides Mimosa Crew, lost by 17 in that game. Sour Peeps 12.
Also, gotta give them a shout out for this past game against Sour Peeps. They were only 5 players, and Sour Peeps did not agree to play 5-on-5. And the score is actually misleading because it was a 1-score game, and then at the last play of the game, it was a Hail Mary.
Wow.
That
Okay.
Sour Peeps returned for 6, turned into pick 6.
Wow. Okay.
So like the score was 25-19 to the last play of the game. They were just down 1 score.
I'll admit it's a harsh F, but it's an F just the same.
Yeah.
But you know what? My bold prediction will be they're going to make the playoffs.
You just think that make them feel
No,
better?
I honestly, I bet McDonald's right now if you want to bet. I think they're going to make the playoffs.
I'll take that bet.
Really?
Yeah.
You're being serious?
Yeah.
How many teams made the playoffs again?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy. 3-3. Shit. Okay, I'm willing to make the
Well,
bet.
you can't come out of it now.
What? I don't willing to make the bet. We're shaking on it.
Huh?
We're shaking on it. Because my pass. Let's go. Make sure I have 3 games next few weeks. So. Alrighty. Sour Peeps.
Yeah.
You want to talk about improvement over the course of the last, not even games, a few seasons? I'm not sure we've seen improvement from a team like Sour Peeps and the core they have, and Mario coaching this team. Psych! Got you. Mario's not coaching the team anymore. But no, really, all kidding aside, this is like the tremendous, you know, like a roller coaster? It goes like up, 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 up. But like right now they're up and they ain't going down. They're staying up. They're stuck. And they've been stuck there for a while. And you talk about improvement, this team's been improving for a very long time, and I've been really impressed. I've been impressed with the play of Wallet. I've been impressed with Benji. Short guy, but man, is he good. He's very, very unassuming. Great hands. Lambert Paquet, a really good player too as well. This is, and the tackling machine.
Yeah.
17 tackles. I'm pretty sure she had 17 tackles last game that I saw her play. So
Yeah. Also, the captain, the heart and soul of this team.
This is a really fun team. It's a team that's very well constructed. I'm going A+ all the way. And yeah, call me cheesy. Call me the first place team obviously getting an A+. But damn it, give me an A+ for Sour
I'm giving
Peeps.
them an A.
An A?
Yeah. Because they didn't agree to go 5-on-5 against Since My Pass last week when in the rain and they were like having... Lesniak was playing defense injured.
Okay, so apparently I spoke to Wallet, their quarterback,
Yes.
and he said that they said they were going to let...
You got something.
Thanks. They were going to let Josh play defense.
Okay.
And the ref said no.
It's not up to the ref to decide. It's...
But they still couldn't play 5 after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was even saying like he wanted to play against a defender like Josh.
And the ref said no, so they said...
So they said, like...
We're not going to risk it.
I guess. But yeah, I spoke to Will after the game, and he said like it was a close-ish game. He had a good game. Like Kiss My Pass held their own.
Well,
but he said he wanted to play against Josh. That would have been fun.
Yeah. I guess like it's not the ref's decision. It's like after it's like the league that decides if it's forfeit or not, right? And then like I don't think he would have pulled like a Mario there and been like,
no.
I never said that, forfeit.
Okay, so let's say that happens, okay?
Yeah.
And they allow Josh to play, and Kiss My Pass end up winning. Can the committee overrule and give them a forfeit?
If it's agreed upon before, no.
Okay, that makes sense.
But then it could be like a he said, she said, and then like
right.
they said.
Got you. No, I don't think Willet's like that.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying like, well, that's technically not even the captain, right? So that then if like the captain gets emailed, the captain wasn't aware.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going A+ with these guys.
Mimosa Crew, another team that has had their up and downs, and they're up right now, right?
See the words right out of my mouth. I wish I didn't give that analysis because that's exactly what I was going to say for these guys.
Okay, so are you giving them an A++ also?
Maybe. Give me your grade first.
I'm going with an A from Mimosa Crew.
I'm going to go A as well.
Not because they're 5-1, but because I did not expect them to be 5-1.
That too. And I think that Curran right now is in his rhythm, and we talk about him as Curran, not Kerwin. Curran is a running quarterback. But he's kind of changed that narrative this year. Where like I mean, he has been running, but like I've seen him throw, and he's been throwing the deep ball well and trusting his receivers. And I think that That's exactly what he needed to do in order to improve his game, is become more of that pocket passer. And he has that pocket passer ability and tucks and run when need to be. I think it keeps defenses guessing. And taking away him, this team is also solid from top to bottom.
What do you got for Bearhood?
They're not undefeated, are they?
No, they lost to Tropic Thunder.
32. Is this team too good for the division?
Yes.
Okay.
I might have to put in that Will Marvin rule for them.
Are we gonna don't start that? Are we gonna do anything about it?
It's in discussion.
Okay. I'm gonna go A.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I was thinking between A- and B+.
Really?
They're gonna go B+ because this team should clearly be undefeated. If we're talking about a team that might be too good for the division and we're gonna install like some restrictions for them, they should have been blowing every team out of the water, like regardless of missing 1 or 2 star players, right? Like
Yeah.
Like it's not just like Quentin that's making this team score. Like they got a bunch of balls.
Yeah,
on
that
this
is
team,
true.
Right?
Ben's super solid.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna go with a B+ because they should not have lost to Tropic Thunder, only putting up 20 points. I do not care who was in the roster that game. Yeah.
And their next game against Big Booties will be a good one.
Okay.
But they Bearhood got a few buys.
Sorry?
Bearhood, you got buys the next few weeks. Bye weeks.
Yep. Tropic Thunder.
Okay. Sitting at 4-2, right? 4-2.
They're giving up a lot of points against. Like
Yeah.
I ref them. I've seen them play. It's one of the. It's like the playoff team right now, sitting in a playoff spot with the most points against, and by quite a margin. Well, they did play a game or two more than the other teams.
Mm-hmm.
But this team was hesitant to play in Division 4 at the beginning of the season.
Really?
I think they could have competed in Division 4, maybe like fought for a 500 record, maybe 4-6, 3-7 by season end.
Yeah.
Look, they lost a game against Chili Hot Dogs that got scored out a lot. I ref them when they lost to Mimosa Crew and they only put up 6 points, right? So like my analysis might be a little biased because that's one of the only games I saw. I also saw them destroy Kevin and put up 40 on Phoenix.
That's a good D5 team too.
So, I think I'm gonna go with a C because I thought this team would be like, look, they're having a great season.
Yeah.
So I'd say they're not. They're sitting in fourth place right now.
I mean, that win against Bearhood holds a lot in my power.
Yes.
In my grading.
Yeah, but
And crushing Phoenix.
like playing Mimosa Crew, and Mimosa Crew only scored 13 points when they could also score 50.
Yeah.
You should have won that game. It should not have been that close against Titans. You should have beat Chili Hot Dogs. And those are the most recent games, right? The first 2 weeks, destroying Improbable and Phoenix, that was back in May. We're far past that, right?
That's true.
I'm
going to go B because I think their win against Bearhood holds a lot, and their win against Phoenix, I think especially winning by 20 points in that game is impressive. Improbable, okay, they're struggling, but they actually, Improbable have won their last game. Monster Crew, yes, that's a game you got to win too. Their slight win against Titans, I think Titans are a better team than we think they are, so I'm not going to hold that against them. And then putting up 34 points against Chili Hot Dogs, I like this team. 4-2. I think a lot of you could see the teams in D5 you want to be more consistent, and maybe that's like a plus about Division 5 because there's nothing that's guaranteed, right? There's some top teams, but nothing is secure and written in stone. So I'm gonna go with the B with them, hopefully getting a little bit more consistent. But I like this team. I think they're well built. They're well built. They have good.
Yeah.
The vibes are great. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a
B. Phoenix. Kevin has 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That must be his best ratio all time.
For real. At this point, just suck it and run.
This team's sitting at 3-1, averaging 26 points a game, 21 against.
Mm-hmm.
Their lone loss came against Tropic Thunder. Their wins came against My Ball Sackers, Weekend Warriors, and Jungle Squad. You could say that their 3 wins were against slightly weaker teams, but you can only play whoever you have on your schedule, right? And the next few games, their schedule ain't getting that much tougher, right? Chili Hot Dogs, Los Politos, Kiss My Pass.
Yeah.
3 very winnable games for them.
Unfortunately, heading into the playoffs, that may be not a knock on them, but you want them to face higher competition, right? So they're really ready for the playoffs and not cruising necessarily in playing against beating up on weaker teams. Mm-hmm. But they do have Sour Peeps the second to last week of the season.
Yeah. And don't discount the Improbable, right?
Exactly. That's a good call too. I'm gonna go B-.
I'm gonna go with a B. Based on the record, the Kevin's ratio. Well, at the same time, he's been playing D5 for so long.
I think I said look, 3-1 is great, and like you said,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go B minus.
I'm gonna stick to my B.
19-20.
I ain't Pabab sitting at 3-2. I feel they have had a roller coaster of a season.
For real.
They're one game over 500, but they have a -8 differential. Starting 0-2 and then winning 3 straight, beating Jungle Squad, Big Booties, and Chili Hot Dogs. Besides the Jungle Squad game, I think they were underdogs in the last 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Their first 2 losses, they only put up a total of 13 points. So it's safe to say Matt clearly changed something in his mechanics.
Yep.
Maybe he's listening to Alex a little more.
That's what I was gonna say. Beat me to it.
Is it me or you to go first?
I'll go first here. I'm gonna go A minus. I really like where this team is headed.
Really?
Yes, I do. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure I picked this team to win once. I know I did against Jungle Squad. That's not true. But I picked them to lose 4 of their 5 games. Twice they proved me wrong. I thought they were going to lose to Big Booties. That didn't happen. I thought they were going to lose to Chili Hot Dogs. That didn't happen. And sure, we talk about like Matt and the way he's been playing. He's been playing better. But you look at the points against 26-21. Okay, that's not that great. Then they've given up 7, 18, and 13. That's great defense.
They do have good defense.
And most of the time in Div 5, and I think especially with this team, as long as Matt is able to take care of the football and kind of ride that defense, this team will be okay. Obviously, we know that they're well coached. They have some underrated studs that that people may not know about across the league. But this is exactly what I mean by my grading system and where the team is heading right now. It's hard to argue that their power rankings, they could be top 3 by just the last few games.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the A minus.
I'm gonna go with a B plus.
Okay.
Based on that 3-game winning streak, maybe like earlier in the season. Matt wasn't getting as much sleep. Now he may be sleeping more. Actually, this past weekend, I think he didn't sleep at all, and he won the game. But like,
there you go.
Some people say defense wins championships. They definitely have the defense to do it, giving up 17 points a game. They just gotta maybe try to consistently score 3 touchdowns a game at the very least. Hope for 4 or 5, and they can win a lot more games. There's the rest of the season schedule is have a lot of winnable games. Right, they could easily go 4-1 in those last 5 games.
Yeah,
and end the season 7-3. Right.
I think so too, and they have the capability. They could be sitting at top 4, if not top 3. He said 8 teams make the playoffs. 8, right? So it'll be a 1-8. Okay, that's simple. Good question. I know we have literally 0 time. Do you think all 8 teams say the? I have to say no because I bet you Kiss My Pass will make the playoffs.
I could see it happening. I think there's a good chance it does not, but.
Like, I think We Could Morals make the playoffs too.
Like, I could see Titans going on a run. I could see Legendaries.
Yeah. All right, last but not least, Big Booties.
But at the same time, my ball Zach Ertz is the last team holding on that 8th seed. And they've been playing great lately, right? So it's like hard to see them like not making it either.
Yeah. Preach, dog, preach.
Big Booties?
3-2.
3-2, averaging only 19 points, giving 19 points a game, giving up 18. I'm going with a D for this team.
D.
When you have 2 Division
D as
One,
Derek.
When you have 2 Division 1 Hall of Famers, I'd like to say, and Max and Josh.
Yeah.
This team should definitely be 5-0 at this point.
I really wish I could disagree with you.
So are we so surprised with my D?
Usually you're a little less strict than I am. I'll say C minus because they are 3-2. But Most of Crew is a good team. They beat Most of Crew, but the loss to Improbable is a little bit surprising. I'm not sure. I know, like, look, Max missed a few games,
and apparently in that game, Josh was literally only targeting Max. And he had guys wide open in that game.
Really, eh?
That were very frustrated. And like, you're playing Division 5. You're playing to share your knowledge and to help out the newer talent to the league and like help them grow and stuff like that. It's not the division where you should just target your best player and your buddy, right? You should the ball distribution should be a priority in your mind, right?
Yeah.
And try to make everyone happy. Winning should come second place, and like you shouldn't even have to have that much difficulty winning against a team like Improbab who has trouble scoring more than 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go C minus. I think that's being a little generous too.
You're being really generous.
Yeah.
Because like, what would you have said the record would have been at this point in the season?
Honestly, 4-1 or even 5-0.
Yeah.
But I also didn't think Most of Crew was going to be as good, and I think that win against Most of Crew is a high quality victory.
Yeah.
Max only played 2 games, right? So.
But he's with them in spirit.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, our preseason. I think I said this was going to be the best team in the division.
Yeah. That's it for Division 5?
Yep. Good stuff. We rolling. How much time? Okay. Oh my god, 34 minutes. What are we supposed to do under an hour? We're doing, we said the 3 now, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. D3?
D3?
Yeah.
So, you want to start with Mustard Tigers?
Trust, let's go, let's go.
Sitting at 2-2.
Yep.
I
like the squad.
Win-loss.
I like this squad. I think they're a very well-built team. I think they have a lot of players that complement other players. I think the addition of Victor Davis was very good. The team is not the fastest. As we know, their average age thing is between 63 and 64. But getting a guy like Victor Davis, having G on the team, it complements the team very well. And a lot of these older players are studs too.
What's your grade?
I'm going to go with a B.
I'm going to go with a C+.
Yeah?
Yeah, to go with the B, I think would have needed to be a little bit, at least a game over 500. This is a team that in Division 4, I predict to be at least in the semifinals once again, right?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of just like drink before and after the game, so they're kind of cruising past the season and like having fun. Yeah. Bin.
This is another very well-constructed team. Oh, they're sitting at 2-3, which is a little bit surprising to me. They have a sandwich of losses. They won their first game, won their last one, had 3 losses in between. They had a tough loss to Average Joe's, 33-32. I saw that game, and I watched the end of it. Bin had control of the game and let it slip. Rossos giving up 51 to them is kind of surprising. Their win against Phoenix was good. Cats, I'm going to go with a C-. I expected A, more from this team. And I don't like the fact that they gave up 51 points to Rossos, who've been way too up and down for my liking. So I'm going to go C- for them.
I agree with the C-, but I think one of the positive things is that they're sitting at 2-3, but they've been averaging 30 points a game.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of points. And
yeah.
You should have a better record, but I think that just goes to show how bad their defense is.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Because they lost a close one to Joe's. They won a close one against Mustard Tigers.
Yeah.
That first game of the season was too close for my liking against Phoenix. They should have destroyed that team.
Yeah.
Look,
if they beat Joe's, this could completely switch.
Yeah.
If that 1 point loss is...
Would have been a B+.
Honestly, probably.
That's why conference is so important.
For reals.
Phoenix.
So we just played Phoenix.
I think I predict them to go 0-10, right? Or 1-9?
I think so. Yeah, you're kind of harsh. They're sitting at 1-4. Let me tell you, they impressed me the way they played this week. Look, it was raining. There was a bunch of missed tackles. I think Leo had the game of his life. Maybe the best game we'll see all season long.
Put up Marvin type numbers.
He did. Did he ever? Even better, impressively enough.
And he played good on defense too.
Yeah, he did. Our defensive play caller. Very impressed with Corey Sam Robertson. Yes. He had some great catches in this game, and it was on top of it he ran a really good slant route on the goal line.
Yes.
No gloves, caught it, sure-handed. I knew he was good, but I was glad to see him play in this one because he really impressed me. So keep it up, Corey. But you got guys like Rob, JF, obviously maybe Kusei. This is a team that's experienced, right? And 1-4. Did I expect them to have a much better record at this point? No. But I think that in a lot of their losses, they've been how can I say? There's been a lot of good points in some of their losses, right? A lot of good things to take out of their losses. So I'm gonna go with a C. I'm gonna go with a C here at 1-4.
I'm gonna go with a C+, just because Kevin also has more touchdowns and interceptions at this point in the season, which is really impressive.
That's true and really rare.
Yeah.
I don't see the vibe of the team's good. I think Kevin has done a good job leading them. A few missed throws by Kevin last game, but overall I think he had a decent game.
Yeah. Dui Molas.
We played them. A pretty tight game. They were sitting at 1-4. Good win against Iron Wolves. Man. I don't know. I find this team hard to give a grade to. Basically every team I said in the entire show so far. But they're too good to be at 1-4. I think they're too good to be 1-4. I think I've been impressed with Felix. I think he's taking a step up. While he does run the ball a lot, I think he's trusted his receivers a little bit more as well. I think that's the key for this team to succeed. Running the ball is great, and he has the ability to break off a 45-yard run every time he carries it. But in order for the team to get, more points on the board and more in sync, I think he's got to be able to chuck that baby deep sometimes, and he has been. But they're too good to be what the record says. I'm gonna go with a D plus.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm gonna go with a D. And it's not the offense the problem. Averaging 25 points a game. Felix has been playing really well in my opinion. It's really that defense. They gotta step up on defense, and I think I mentioned it 2 weeks ago. They gotta show that they actually care a little bit, right? They're playing nonchalant. They're not really caring. Besides Felix, Amelie, maybe one or two other players, they're all just
cruising.
Just kind of cruising through the game. Okay, what time are we gonna go get the beers at and stuff like that, But Felix makes something out of nothing, most of the time, right? Yeah. And like you said, he could be running for 45-yard touchdowns on every first down, but he's really improved as a passer. So I'm gonna go with the D.
Iron Wolves.
Yeah. Iron Wolves got their first win against Rossos, which is actually a pretty impressive one.
A much needed win.
Chris Crew, the MVP in that game.
Yes.
If it wasn't for Leo's performance, maybe he would have been the player of the week.
That's true.
So this team had the unfortunate series of events happening to John's arm.
Yes.
And had to call up Jason from their farm team,
their second farm team. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
into the first farm team.
He got thrown out to the Wolves. Yeah. Literally.
He's been playing fairly well, to be honest.
Fairly good command of the offense. It's not easy job to do, right, to take over mid-season either.
Yeah. But this team, too, is the issue is really with their defense, right? Giving up 37 points a game.
57 points week 1.
Obviously, that did not help their average. Then they lost to Kevin and Phoenix, which put John into retirement. Then they lost to Duimolas, who we just said have been unimpressive this year.
56 double dippers. 56 and 57 in the same season.
Yeah. They like those 50 burgers, do they?
Do they ever? If it wasn't for their last win, they'd get F-.
Minus.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the D-.
Yeah, same. And, because their last game of the season they won, they get the D-, or else I think I would have given them an F. Who knows? Maybe they'll have to bounce back. They get a bye this week. Good ticket to win heading into the bye, but I expected a lot more from this team, no matter who's quarterback.
Average Joe's? F?
F minus? No.
What's your grade for them?
I mean, look, they won 54-0, 57-18, 34-26, 33-32, 50-20. I'm going to give them an A. I was debating between giving them an A+. I think defensively, I want them to be a tad bit more consistent. But I think right now, you look at all the teams in the division, and this is the favorites, right? They were potentially the favorites heading in. They are the favorites now. Jason's having a heck of a year. Say what you want about running the score, blah, blah, blah. Put that aside for today. They scored 45 points a game. Only gave up 19. So you say, I'm not unimpressed with their defense. But I think with their ball hawking safeties, they could turn the ball over a little bit more. But Jason's been cruising right now. This team gets an A.
The one stat that impressed me the most about average Joe this season is that when you look at Jason's quarterback of the year performance, he threw 22 interceptions that season. He had 46 touchdowns, over 2,000 yards, 23 one-point converts, over 60% completion percentage. He had great statistics. Obviously, there was that little blemish with his interceptions. He had a lot of them. He still finished undefeated, even though he threw 22 picks, which makes it all that much more impressive. Right now, after 5 games, he has 2. The important statistic for Joe's is not scoring touchdowns with a minute left now. It's keeping that interception rate low, because if Jason could close out the season with less than 5 interceptions, which he's on pace to do, and keep
let's say less than 8.
Well, he's threw 2 in the first 5 games. He should throw more than 3 in the last 5. Yeah. So, and keep scoring at that rate, they're going to be a very, very difficult team to beat. Because when Average Joe's finished 10-0, or when Average Joe's kept choking in those playoffs, they were losing those games more so than Jason was winning it. Jason was throwing that bad pick when he should not have thrown it to bring the team back in the game, and that's how they were losing it. If he's only throwing 1 interception every 5 or 3.5 games, it's very hard for him to lose that game, right? Yeah. So try to kill the clock more, and instead of scoring more, ramping up the score. We saw what you could do now. Like Jeff said it. The most important thing right now is not ass, it's the championship, right? Yeah. So keep that interception number low, and that's your recipe for victory right now.
Well said. And I said they have to turn the ball over a little bit more. They have 19 interceptions on the year. So what the heck do I know? But I think that, defensively, offensively, it's is there a weakness on this team? It's really hard to find a weakness on this team. Yeah. And I think you can make a case. There are other teams that are potentially just as good, but I think you got to have the team as the favorites to win it all.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with a solid B because I predict them, I think, to be like undefeated at this point. I think they're the team to beat in this division. Maybe a B plus. They have been
I didn't think they were gonna put up these many points.
Well, in
Like
the
54,
fashion and the way they're
54,
doing
33, 50.
in the way they're doing it by calling timeouts the last 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I think it makes more sense.
I guess. Yeah, fair. Red Cats.
Red Cats are an A for me. I know this team has ballers, and I know they just probably played the worst game by far of their season.
Yeah,
it was raining. Double dippers have been red hot lately, but I would not have thought this team would be 4-0 out of the gate. Have some start putting up the games they played. Also beating Pocket Rockets 33-18, beating Raw Sauce, Bin, Phoenix maybe could have predicted that one. But yeah, that last loss hurts them.
Yeah.
But I've been really impressed with this team.
I'm going to go B+. Not only are they a great group of guys, they want to win. And I think this team comes to play and comes prepared every single week. I'm not sure there's a more prepared team, honestly, from what I see in all of MFL, or at least all of Division 3.
Last week. They weren't.
That is true. Hey, you allowed your slip-ups. There was a few slip-ups. Like you said, it was raining. I was surprised to see them lose by as many points as that.
Yeah.
Excluding last game, Avery's done a really good job of taking care of the ball.
Yes.
And he's against us. He was able to fit the ball in tight windows. This team is very, very athletically gifted. You look at the athletes they have from point A to point B. Anybody could be a wide receiver one on this team, and this team is good. I think they've overachieved so far from what I expected for them. And yeah, I like this team. They're going to be dangerous sitting in the playoffs. I'll go B+.
Pocket Rockets.
I can give a grade, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, you go first. I'll give my grade after.
So this team on paper could be arguably one of the best teams in the division, right?
Yeah.
Sitting at 4-2, only a +30 differential in through 6 games, meaning your average win is by 5 points, right? So that's a little low. Your defense is great, so giving up an average of 28 points a game is really shocking. Putting up 33, kind of what I expected. You start off on that 3-game winning streak, then you lost to Monster Tigers and Red Cats in a very unimpressive way.
Both times.
You beat up on Phoenix, who are maybe one of the weaker teams in the division. Look, at this point, I think you guys should have clearly been at least 5-1. Pio has 31 touchdowns for 6 games. That's amazing. Averaging 5 touchdowns a game. His 9 interceptions in 6 games doesn't seem all that very high, but they came in timely manners where they costed the team a lot, right? Baby Menard, 17 sacks in 6 games.
Crazy. Going
for the record that we don't know what is.
That's true. We don't know what
must be the 20-something.
Yeah.
If he hits 30, he'll have
the record. Yeah.
It's hard to knock on you guys more, and if someone didn't watch those 2 losses to Mustard Tigers and Red Cats, they won't really know what me and Jeff were talking about the past 2 weeks.
They were 2 quite poor games, right?
Yeah, I gotta give you a C- at this point because
really?
C would be what I was expecting of you, and I was expecting a lot better, right?
Yeah, I was gonna go C. I think with the team we have, the experience we have, I think we also have a team that complements each other very well. Big game this week against Average Joe's. That's going to be a big one. I think that, after that game, both teams are going to know where they stand.
Yeah, they're going to be sitting at 500, right? If you lose that one?
4-3.
We're
4-2 right now.
Yeah, 1 game over.
So that'll be a big saving game for us and for them too. I'll go with a C.
And then you have Arno's twice in the last 3 games?
Yep. MFL, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Rockets. We're good.
Raw Sauce.
Okay.
You want to go first?
Yeah. I like the way they played their last few games.
They started at 1-2 and then they won 4 straight.
They're 4-2, 4-3 now with their loss to Iron Wolves. The 4-game win streak was what I expected from Raw Sauce as soon as they entered the league. This team is good. Ludovic is good. They have ballers. Gabush has missed a few games for this team. And I have to say I've been very impressed with them over the last few weeks. I guess excluding last week. But look, they beat Ben. They beat Double Dippers. Phoenix was not a very impressive victory for them, but it was a victory just the same. I'm going to go with a B here. I like this team. Are they one of the favorites in Division 3? I'm not sure, but I could see them. This could be a team that's overlooked heading into the playoffs. And I like the way that they're moving the ball on offense. I like the way Ludovic is using his weapons. One of the better rushers in the division, like we all know. I'm going to go with a B.
He's not even rushing for them. Antoine
you're right. He was playing defense. That is true.
And he's leading the team in tackles, maybe even the league. But he is one of the better rushers.
Yes.
But Nathaniel, when I refed him against Arnold, did a great job rushing as well. So
There you go. Got depth.
yeah.
I'm going B.
I'm also going to go with B for them.
Mm-hmm.
This is a team I remember in our preseason rankings or whatever we did at the first show.
Yeah.
Remember last year they had lost like a lot of games and couldn't win a game?
Yes.
Like you literally couldn't pay for them to win.
Yeah.
So I think we had said that like if they win a game or two, we'll just be happy. So like, I didn't predict them to win many games. The fact that they have already won 4 at this point is great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the B as well.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Double Dippers.
Double Dippers. Fun team. Sitting at 3-2.
They were
Very
complaining
impressive.
that I didn't pick them, but like before that win against Red Cats were undefeated. They were sitting at 500, right?
Well, no, I was the only one to pick Double Dippers, right? So it wasn't just you.
No, I know, but yeah, exactly. But like they're before this last win against Red Cats, which is probably much their only impressive win, they beat Iron Wolves and they beat Villains who are no longer in the division. They lost to Pocket Rockets. They lost to Rossa. So like, erase that last win. They were not a team to watch out for or anything like that. Now they clearly are putting up 56 and 30 in their last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's safe to say Simon Blais found his mojo, right?
Yeah, he has. And really hitting, like, we knew Blais with Manu, you know, they had the connection together from MFL, and we don't talk about those stuff. But Sapolsky and him have really been hitting stride, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time I look over, Sapolsky's getting a bomb there and making a big play. I'm going to go with a B.
Savitsky is on pace to hit 1,000 yards and 26 touchdowns. He has 500 yards in 5 games and 13 touchdowns in 5 games.
Do we know the record for yards in the season?
It's over 1,000. I think
It's over 1,000.
I think it's 1,100 something.
By Smuda?
Yeah.
Holy cow. He's on base for over 1,000 yards.
Yeah. He literally has 503 yards in 5 games.
Wow.
Like his stat line, 40 receptions, 500 yards, 13 touchdowns is receiver of the year like on a 10-game schedule. Wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Did you ever hit those numbers?
40. Oh my god, don't be silly.
No, honestly.
Maybe not. 40.
Have you ever had 500 yards and 13 touchdowns this season? I don't think so.
Touchdowns, maybe. Yards, no.
It's crazy, eh?
Yeah, that's incredible.
Who do you think you hit 13 touchdowns with? Wolves?
No, maybe, wait, Wolves D3.
Okay.
I believe so. I have to double check that. But yeah, and 3 1-point conversions. That's unbelievable.
I'll check that right now.
My picture's ugly.
No, you never hit double-digit touchdowns
Wow.
in D3. You had 770 yards when I was throwing you the ball.
Oh, okay, there you go. Come on, guy.
But only 8 touchdowns.
Wow. So Sabisky already has 5 more touchdowns in half of the games than I've ever had. Sabisky. Give me some
Didn't you have
teachings.
like a 250-yard game against Rossos that year?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
How many yards was it actually?
I think 210.
And we lost.
We lost that game. Yeah, that was crazy. I remember that one. But no, Double Dippers. This is a really good team. I like when looking at the teams in D3, I thought the team may be too strong for the division.
Looking at what?
Looking at like the preseason, we looked at the teams. I don't think they're too strong now, but like.
So what'd you give them?
I give them a B.
Did I give them anything?
I think you give them a B as well.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I actually said it, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Usually that makes sense.
Is that it for Division 3?
I think it is.
I hope we don't forget a team.
No. Oh, villains are Div 4.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Do you want to do the thing or we're good?
Well, I'm meeting so minute. I'll post the video now of Division 4.
Let's go, baby.
Where's Jeff when you need him?
He knows about D4?
No, to count, but it comes after 3.
Oh, no, that's exactly why Jackson on the show this week.
So let's split it right down the middle. Iron Wolves?
Yeah, start with Iron Wolves. Nice.
Want to do the Wolf?
Whoa! 2-2 Iron Wolves. Plus minus a plus 9. Tough loss against Sooners 45, but Sooners 45 are pretty good.
John told me they could have definitely beaten them.
I can see that, but I think if they play 10 games, I'm going to give Sooners 7.
Yeah, so you could beat them.
Yeah, true.
It was a 1-score game at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Their wins do come against 2 winless teams, right?
Yeah.
Black Diamonds and Airborne, those are their only 2 wins. Those 2 teams combined for 0-8.
Lost to Libouche wasn't very convincing. Lost by 20 points.
They are averaging 31 points a game, though.
Mm-hmm.
We know this team with their young bucks could score points.
Yes. A lot of points.
What do you got? What are you giving them?
I'm going to go B minus.
Why?
Okay, I'm going to go F minus.
No, why B minus?
I'm not sure I thought they were going to be like Black Diamonds aren't great. I like their win against Black Diamonds. I like their win against Airborne. I saw them play one game and it was against Airborne, and I was very impressed with them in that game. The Young Bucks had a heck of a game. John was killing it. Josh had a heck of a game. So I'm gonna go B minus. It doesn't give them a worse grade, eh?
Yeah, I'm going with a C minus because in that game against the Boucher, they were literally never in it. Like they had no chance of stopping the deep ball. Lucas was throwing whoever he wanted, right? In that game, they had no answer for him.
Yeah,
this is a team that I think at the beginning of the season, maybe not, but I think I remember saying that I thought they'd be really good, right?
Yeah.
Even though those kids playing in the winter, it's not their first season in the adult league. Yeah, and was Josh supposed to be the quarterback for this team at the beginning of the season? Or was it always supposed to be Jason?
I don't think it was supposed to be Josh.
So when we did I'm
pretty sure it was supposed to be Jason.
Okay. Yeah, this team has Josh, John. They had Cat for a few games.
Yeah.
Jason throwing now. Connor, Lucas, Cooper. They should at least be over 500, right?
I get what you're saying.
Next up,
I have high hopes for these guys. Rossas.
D4 team is struggling, eh?
You know I have this love-hate relationship with Rossas.
It sounds more like a hate relationship.
Yeah, it does, I'll be honest. And their 33-0 loss is not going to help them.
Well, they also lost 31-0. When they lose, they'd rather not score any points. Like, they're just going to...
Well, if they lose by 1 or 30, what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
Rossas 2-3. 2 wins against Airborne and against Black Diamonds. Isn't it Black Sauce? None of their 5 games have been competitive. They've lost by 31. They won by 21. They lost by 19. They won by 28, and they lost by 33. So the games are pretty much over in the first half when they play.
Let me go first.
Yeah.
I give them a D. This team needs to find themselves their actual quarterback and stick with it, right? Besides Ludovic, who's only played 2 games, they don't have a quarterback on the roster with more than 3 touchdown passes, right? They do have one with 9 interceptions, though. All these guys play on their D3 team. All these guys have been playing forever. Yes, the quarterback's the most important position, but they have enough guys that have been playing for long enough to sail the ship right enough to be at least a 500 team, if not better, right?
Yes.
Scoring 0 points in 2 other games, I hesitate to give them an F.
That's a good call. But if they have Gabouche can... So, obviously, Ludovic can throw. Does that mean Gabouche and Yvonne could both be receivers?
No, not if Ludovic.
Okay, so one of the two.
Yeah. Everyone could be there if I think Gabouche is throwing.
Okay, got you.
They could have Yvonne and Ludovic as receivers at that point.
Okay, got you.
But I think when Yvonne is missing or Gabouche is missing, then Yvonne can throw. Then Ludovic can throw.
Ludovic can throw. I'm going D minus.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going D minus. It's way, way too good of a team to be scoring 14 points a game.
Yeah. Les Bouchers. I had higher hopes for this team at the beginning of the season. Seeing the record at 2-3 kind of disappoints me a little. Lucas is a great quarterback. He's maybe one of the better quarterbacks in this division, right? And look at his stats. Through 5 games, he has 20 touchdowns, so just 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Almost going for 900 yards, over 60% completion. Great ball distribution when you're looking at the stats. Felix Bégin, obviously the one standing out, but besides that, he's really distributing the ball well. Their losses...
That's the thing. You expected them to be better, but who of the losses do you think they would have beaten, right?
Well, yeah, they lost to Idaho, Super Friends, and Villains, who are arguably the 3 best teams in the division.
Yeah.
But, Les Bouchers to me are right under that crop of teams. But I still expect them to win one of those 3 games, right? Mm-hmm. They did lose by 1 to Villains. They lost by 1 possession to Super Friends. They lost by 3 possessions to Idaho in the first game of the season.
Yeah.
To me... they're at a point where they can challenge for that top 3 spot, right?
Yeah. So
they should be able to steal or get one of those, find a way to win one of those games. The roster, everyone's been playing for a long time now.
Yeah.
They're not that new team anymore that just came up and that's surprising us, right? Mm-hmm. They are there to have fun. They're a great group of guys and girls. Mm-hmm. But for that reason, I'm gonna go with a C minus.
Yeah.
So I expect just a little more, one more win.
I think this is exactly where I thought they would be. They're a team that. They remind me a bit of the Miami Heat. Well, Miami Heat overachieved this year, but they could beat any team in the division, but also lose any team in the division, right? Depending which group of guys/girls shows up. That's why I'm gonna go see. I thought if I would have seen this record, I think I would have predicted them to be 2-3 with the games they've lost, losing, and the games they've won. Winning those games as well. Cyclones, Cyclones have been up and down mostly down, but. I like to lose to the Villains by 1 point. Villains have been cruising, right? And like to keep it a very competitive game and keep them within 13 points.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, still have a losing record. I'm gonna go C. But honestly, with this Boucher team, like if you tell me they end up losing their next 5 games or they go 5-0, I wouldn't be surprised either way.
You wouldn't be surprised they lose their next 5 games.
I really feel like they're up and down. I really like who are the next 5 games? Ben Low Fat, good team. Ross Sauce, okay, Black Diamond, Snooze 45 Villains. That's not an easy schedule.
No, it's
but
not.
At the same time, I could also see them winning 4 of those 5 games.
It seems way too good to lose 5 games in a row.
I agree with you. But I think they're a little bit too up and down from entering MFL, not just the season.
Yeah. Next up, we got Cyclones. No explanation. Give me the grade.
F.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Barbara. I give you an F plus, but
if we're doing plus minuses, I'll give them F minus.
They're consistently bad in the sense that these are their points through 4 games: 13, 12, 14, 14. They never scored more than 14 points. They never scored less than 12. Even in their only victory, where we thought the savior Saint Nick came down to finally find them a QB, they only scored 14 points that game, beating Drama Club, who only has 1 win on the season. I know you want to speak, but give me 1 more second.
Yeah, sure.
This team is way too good to not be able to score more than 2 touchdowns through 4 games. I don't care who you played against. Sooners 45, Ben Low Fat, Drama Club, Les Bouchers. All are good teams, but none are like the cream of the crop in that division either, right? You could argue maybe Sooners 45 are, but that's Ben Low Fat. But you could score more than 2 touchdowns in a game, man.
One would hope. That's it?
That's it. It's all you.
Look, okay. I gotta admit, the win against Drama Club is pretty impressive. I think that's the only time I picked them to lose because I was fed up picking them to win and they ended up losing. I ended up winning that game.
Boucher?
Les Boucher Cyclones. I think I picked Cyclones. Oh shit. Right, like wait, who's their quarterback?
Good question.
No, they gotta find a way what they're gonna do at the quarterback position. That's number 1.
Marco through 3 games has 3 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. I'm sorry. I love Marco as a player. He's a great all-around player. He's an outstanding receiver, outstanding defender. He's not going to be quarterback right now for this team.
Saplinsky can maybe quarterback for this team. All kidding aside, I think Alex can quarterback for this team. We saw what he was able to do in D2 against us with Thunder Buddies. Even if their only win of the season came against the 1972 Miami Dolphins, I'd still give this team an F because they are way too good to be 1-3 at this point. I know you got expectations, all this jazz.
At this point, wouldn't you just try Barbara quarterback? See if Montana comes out of her.
That's a good point. I think her hands are too good. You got to have her as a receiver. But no, honestly, at this point, maybe try her Barbara, try Nana G, try Kayla at this point.
This team is averaging 2 picks a game on defense. That just adds fuel to the fire. They have 8 picks through 4 games.
Okay, 13, 12, 14, 14.
You don't listen to me when I said that at the beginning.
I wasn't really listening because I was too fed up with them. Look, if your girl's consistent, at least if you come home...
You know what you're getting.
She's going to make spaghetti and meatballs. Don't expect her to make lobster and caviar, folks. So all I got to tell you.
Drama Club.
They're good.
I feel...
No, they're good.
What do you mean they're good?
But they've been underperforming. This is a good roster.
Yeah, it's a good roster.
It's a good roster.
They're a 1-4 team who has a +4 differential.
You know what I say when they're good and their record's 1-4? F. It's another F.
Because that's usually basing it on expectations.
Partly, yes. Not solely. Partly, my friend. They're getting an F.
Another team who's having struggle scoring points, besides their win against Rossas where they put up 33,
they lost to Cyclones. That's an F. If you lose to Cyclones and you're 8-1 and you're 1 loss to Cyclones, you're getting an F. That's all I have to see. F. You're getting an F. That's all my explanations. That's all I needed.
I'm unfortunately giving them an F as well.
Wow.
This team has half the
this is like my grades when I was in grade 4.
This is what?
My grades when I was in grade 4.
That's what you're still in.
I go, Mom, I failed math, English, French, Spanish, and you do us for all the rest. Peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. The Drama Club. But why are Drama Club so poor? We know the players they have, right? We've played with the players they have.
Yes. Airborne. I'll go first. It's another F. Averaging 11 points a game, man. Come on. They got some studs on this team. They literally have many players who could easily play D2, if not D1. 14 points in their first game, 6 in their second game, 6 in their third game, putting up 20 in the lost to Iron Nose was their best offensive performance. Yes, they don't have Guillaume at quarterback at the beginning of the season, but it's not making a difference that he's there right now, right? Jeremy Paul, Baby Menard, Hassan, Isaac, Gregory Spino. Gregory was balling out this past winter season. I don't understand.
Yeah, our number Greg's on the team too, eh?
Who?
Craig,
yeah.
Delcio.
Yes.
Yeah. Shaq Machine.
Yes. No, I'm frustrated.
What does food start with?
F.
That's what they're getting. Baby Maynard, cover your ears. Let's go. Pick it up.
All right, the villains.
Okay.
Oh wait, I almost skipped a team. Black Diamonds.
Good call, Babalis. A good call. Go first.
Man, I love these guys. They're a great team. You know how much Mike.
Well, to quote Mike Jazz, this is a few weeks ago. Mike, did you guys win with Black Diamonds? Heck no, we didn't.
You know how much Mike Jazz loves football, right?
Oh yeah.
He left this team. That should be alone. What's the third letter in the word left?
F.
Yes. Rob White has way too much experience that he could be playing with literally guys who've never touched a football before. He should be able to score more than 15 points a game and definitely not give up 35 points a game, right? Rob has been playing great on every other team he's on. His knowledge of the game at literally every position. If I told you pick one guy in the league who could play every single position, I don't think there's anyone better than Rob, right?
Fine wine. Swiss Army knife.
They have not... Well, they scored 24 in their first game. Was probably their best outing. And I know they have a few guys that were on vacation. A little bit of roster inconsistencies. They should be coming back now. No one on this roster has over 91 yards through 4 games. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's unfortunately going to be an F for me as well. Michael Halvey on this team. Michael Halvey's on this team. This Halvey squad, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to feed him the ball. He's getting better. He's only going to get better the more you feed him. I'm not sure what it is with these guys. I don't know. It's a lack of speed. If it's like because they have not been close.
Yeah.
Right, their games have not been close. F.
So
Sorry, guys.
villains, D4.
Okay, so what's their record?
5-0.
What's their actual record?
We don't know.
So, okay. When will we know by?
I don't know.
Awesome. A lot of questions answered. It's tough to give a grade to you
At
guys.
this point, I think we're gonna do win percentage.
What?
Win percentage. Like if
Do it, I mean, including the 2 games they lost, though.
no win percentage.
So 100%.
So far they'd be at 100%. Let's say they finish 7-1.
Oh, because they're gonna have less games played.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. They're not gonna play a full 10 games.
So their first 2 games were like bye weeks.
Yeah. Well, they were getting crushed.
Yeah.
It was all part of the plan. I'm going with an A. They beat. I'm gonna go with A+. They beat Super Friends twice, which is hard to do. I know Super Friends are missing players,
Yeah.
but that's not on villains, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with A+ for this team. They're great on offense, doing great on defense. They're sticking to one quarterback for the majority of the time. We got Jeremy O'Reilly leading the way on offense. This is just a great team. I have a hard time thinking anyone could beat them in D4 right now.
That's good. I was going to follow up question, even though I didn't ask the first one. I'm going to go B+. Just because of the fact that, in my mind, I still factor in the first 2 games.
Yeah, well, then you go like F.
No, but I mean, because they don't really count, I can't just completely dismiss them from my mind.
Okay.
It's like kind of like somebody, like an ex, and like she's in the back, and you can't really completely knock her off if you know the good new girl. So I'm going to go with a B+, but my question
So
to
your
you...
next girlfriend, you're still going to be thinking about your ex, what you're saying?
Well, I mean, you can't completely forget her, can you? It's tough to move on. But, Terry, is this... first of all, is this team to be in the division?
Yes.
Is it by a lot?
It's not by a lot.
Okay. So remember Pocket Rockets in Division 4?
Yeah.
How like they were like Goliath and everyone else was David?
Yeah.
Is it kind of like that, or they're a little less favorite? Okay.
Because I don't think Super Friends faced them with their full roster, and those games were awfully close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
They do have very impressive wins against Sooners 45, against Super Friends, against Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
They literally beat all the top teams in the division, right?
Yeah, they're literally undefeated.
Like, I thought they were going to come down to D4 and like start another losing streak because their schedule seemed so difficult.
That's true. But that's the thing. Remember when they were losing? I was like, all right, should we even move these guys division because they're good?
They were losing like 70-0.
But let's say they stayed in the division. You think there was any way they figure stuff out?
Well,
Like, could they have made the... Like, and I'm not... Like, it's done now. They're switched division. I think they're in the right division. But if they see the division, could they have made the playoffs?
the way they were playing,
I think they could have made the playoffs.
Okay. Idaho.
I had a Pimps. 4-1. Only lost West to those villains. Big game against been low fat. This seems good.
So what's their?
I think they're my favorites.
What's their?
I'm gonna go A-.
I'm going B+. David Bison's been balling out. 24 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions, 62.8 completion percentage. He's doing everything great. He had a great 3 quarters of the winter season last year. Let's hope the way that one ended, this one does not end the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Great ball distribution. Mason Miller, his main guy, but then he has another 4 or 5 guys who are averaging 2 to 3 catches a game. 3 guys over 200 yards, and your boy Simon, Mason
Simon.
and Rich and Ryan.
7 touchdowns leading the team. Simon, Mason, 33 catches.
Yeah, it's a good team. Definitely one of the favorites.
I mean, look, I say they're the favorites. I mean, right now the favorites, I guess, have to be the Villains, even though I said it was them. But if I had to pick a team right now to win it all, I think I'd pick Udo.
They're coming over an impressive victory over Bin Lo Fat, right? Winning by 25 points.
Yeah.
Bin Lo Fat are very strong.
Yeah.
They destroyed Raw Sauce. They destroyed Airborne.
Mm-hmm.
They've had very convincing wins in all 4 of their wins.
Yeah.
Bin Lo Fat. Reigning champs.
4-1. Plus minus of plus 30, I believe. A head scratcher this week. Did you see any of that game?
No. I'll go check the box score really quick. Even their past week, winning only by 1 touchdown against Drama Club, and I think that came at the very end.
Yeah, I read that game.
Head scratcher. Beating Black Diamonds, okay. Beating Cyclones, okay. Beating Airborne by 5 points also.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been really impressive, right?
I mean, they've been getting the job done, right? Like Cyclones beating pretty badly, Black Diamonds beating pretty badly. The game against Drama Club, they took way too long to get going. They ended up winning that game. See, that's the thing. Like they're 4-1. But this is where I feel like my grading system is perfect because the last 2 games have been a little bit unimpressive.
Yeah. So what are you giving them?
I know it's a little harsh. I know it was C+.
Okay, I'm going with a C-.
Really?
Well, what did you think I was going to give them?
Maybe a B-.
No, because they have not been impressive.
Yeah.
I was expecting more of them. This is a team that should have won by multiple scores against Drama Club, should have won by multiple scores against Airborne, should not have lost by multiple scores to Idaho. They should have put up a better fight in that game.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at the ball score really quickly, and I guess it was a Shanov game for them, right? Everyone could have it.
Yeah.
But it looks like they were, were in a league of their own, right?
Yeah.
David Brisson was doing whatever he wanted. 200 yards, 5 touchdowns that game. Jean-François Roland-Leclerc throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. Thomas Côté-Parent only getting 3 catches in this game. He made the most of it, going for 65 yards and a touchdown. But this defense should have gotten some stops on this Udo team, right? Like, I'm not that shocked that Udo won, but I thought it would have been a 1-possession game at the very least.
Yeah. No, I know. 2 by 25 is surprising.
And we know how bad Drama Club have been. They lost to Cyclones. So
Drama Club lost to Cyclones? Or this one we just did before?
Yeah. So, and then Bin Lo Fat barely beating them. So,
That's basically a loss. That's basically a loss.
Sooners 45.
Probably the most interesting team in the division right now.
In what terms?
I find them, how can I put it? They're a very well-constructed team. And I think that they have a recipe for success to winning, and they stick with that recipe to success. They're true to who they are, and I really like that about them.
Yeah. I agree with that.
They'll always be true to who they are. They only lost the season coming against the Villains, like we talked about, by 1. I repped the first game against Drama Club. That was a really good game. I mean, look at the points they're putting up. They're scoring consistently, right? 30, 34, 26, 33, 32. Division 4, we don't really see that many points. They're scoring it's exactly 31 a game.
And their defense is playing fairly well, so...
Yeah. I'm going an A.
Yeah.
It's, obviously they would have beat Villains, would have been A+, but, that really close game to Villains, who Villains have been killing it right now. I like this team, and I like the fact that, like I said, they have their own identity and they stick to it. Give me an A for Cyclones.
Look.
For Sooners, not Cyclones.
I'm going to go with a B. Based on the
really?
fact that 3 out of their 4 wins are against non-playoff teams. Drama Cup, Cyclones, Black Diamonds combined for half a win.
But they did beat them convincingly, right?
Yeah, they did beat them convincingly, but I'm confident in this team.
Yeah.
I love Diego as a quarterback. I think one of the best dual threats, not just in this division, but even in this league. But when they're going to play against Udaho...
Who would you pick in that game, you think, right now?
I think I'm giving the edge to Udaho right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I think I will give them the edge over Bin Lo Fat.
Yeah,
given the way that each team has been playing.
Yeah.
If they were to play against Villains again, I think I'm giving the edge to Villains, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, that's fair.
It's more based on that.
Yeah.
Super Friends.
I really haven't seen these guys play, and I kind of missed that. I missed the squad.
3-2, with a pretty good plus 28 through 5 games. Their only 2 losses came to the same team, who we just argued is one of the best teams in the division.
Not the best.
Maybe even a Div 3 team.
Yeah. Okay, from D5 to D3, crazy. Oh no, D3.
You didn't catch that one, eh?
Forget what I said.
They beat the Boucher by 1 score. They demolished Raw Sauce, and they won by 10 against Drama Club in that pouring rain.
The energy was high in that game. I was throwing for the team we don't talk about, and man, that was.
You were throwing for Outlaws?
Yeah, and it was actually fun to play in that weather.
Look, I know they were missing players. I know they had a quarterback change. Oliver has been playing fairly great, to say the least, as a quarterback.
Yeah,
15
really.
touchdowns, 5
It's
interceptions.
impressive. First year throwing, eh?
Well, he threw in the winter
Okay, true.
for the TD Hunters, remember?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a B for this team.
Yeah, same. I was gonna go B as well. I was hesitant between B and a B plus.
I feel that when you play the same team in back-to-back weeks, you got to win one of the two, right?
Yeah, that is fair. Sure, the cream of the crop. I'll go B.
We did Iron Wolves, right?
We did Iron Wolves.
Pretty sure we did everyone in D4, right?
We did Iron Wolves, yeah, because we talked about. We did Ross. Nice. That's it.
So Division 1.
Yeah. Oh, we're flying. D1.
This one's going to be fast, only 5
Yeah,
teams.
for real.
You want to start Trollers?
Yeah, sure. Go Trollers. Yeah, good call. You go first.
So, after Trollers beat Gold Cook, which was like 3 weeks ago at this point, we were arguing, are they the team to beat in the division? Are they the favorites? Putting up 38, only giving up 24, the addition of Dylan and all that. They had Simone Shen, quarterback for them, that impressive win against Centurions. We saw a classic Outlaws Trollers game this past weekend.
I don't know how the Trollers lost this game. I don't know how they lost this game.
Did Trollers lose it more, or was it Outlaws that won it?
No, I'll say Outlaws that won it. But it was weird because the game was always close, and it was a back and forth game. But in my mind, I felt like Trollers had it. And I was talking to Brady afterwards, and I think he said, he said we stole the game.
But it was like a 2-possession game all throughout the first half, right?
Yeah, I mean, but Outlaws were getting the ball throughout the second half, so it's like, they have that. Then Outlaws were down by 5 in the second half. They were getting the ball, they scored. This first half was dominated by Andrew. It was deep ball Andrew, and that's what it was. And I think that, anyway, we're not talking solely about this game, but we're so focused on that first half he had that it was like, hey, there's no way Trollers are going to lose this game. I think it was a gut-wrenching loss for them. I really do. They're marching late. Brady gets the pick.
The game started off with a safety?
Yeah, first play of the game, Tyler got a safety. That ended up being the game winner. Think about it.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I'm going to go with a B. I know they're sitting at 2-2. They're averaging 40 points a game, giving up 35. The way they played against Gold Cook showed me confidence that this team could win the championship this year. Not going to say they're the favorites right now, but they really could win the championship. And that's something that I think preseason we're saying they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot based on the way they played the past few seasons and Max's in availability, and not showing up to games or like physically not being able to show up to games, right?
Yeah.
They kind of corrected that this year. They have Vinny there when Max not there. They had Simone Chen fill in that great game. I'm gonna give them a B. I don't think they're 1A or 1B anymore at the top of the standings. They're clearly the third team right now behind. I mean, you could argue that they're the second best team.
Because a few weeks ago you had said they were the favorites, right?
Yeah. But that tight loss to Outlaws and the fact that Outlaws not only beat Trollers, they also beat Gold Cook in that same week really propelled them to number one. Like, it's hard now not to say that Outlaws are the team to beat and the favorites right now, right?
Right.
So I'd say in my power rankings, Trollers are probably second right now. So yeah, I take back what I said. They're not 1A, 1B. I'd say Outlaws are clearly 1, Trollers are clearly 2. And that game that we saw 40-39 could be a finals preview.
It could be. I'm going to go with the same grade, B. I think it would have been really nice for them to go and win this game. They would have been 3-1 right now, sitting pretty. Now the standings are a little bit more tight in Division 1. I think it's going to come down for these guys. We know they're going to score points. We know that they have a lot of energy. It's going to come down to late in games tight. Can they get a job with their backs? Can they get done with their backs against the wall? And I think that the good part about this team is they're very energetic, and at times that could kind of distract them in certain situations. But for me here, I like a B, and I really wouldn't be surprised to see this team win it all.
Let's talk about Gold Cook right away because they're going to be scratching their heads. Hey, we're the third best team right now. Well, when you've only put up I think this team was great. Like, at the beginning of the season, I said it's between them and the Outlaws, and I'm giving them the edge because they're the defending champs. Getting Bress back. Was he there Yep. He was there. and he was there when you guys beat him as well with the Iron Wolves, right?
Yes.
So you just beat the Gokuk in back-to-back weeks, which is impressive, beating Gokuk. And they don't go often with 2 straight losses, right?
Right.
But what shocks me the most is that they only put up 39 points total in those 2 games. They put up 20 against Iron Wolves, 19 against Outlaws, and it's not as if they got beat by... They got 40 scored on.
Right.
Iron Wolves and Outlaws both only scored 25 points against them.
Yeah.
You're telling me Gokuk got 25 points scored against. You only need to score more than 25 to win the game.
You're picking them to win both, right?
I'm picking them to win both.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
They only scored 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Dom scores 6 touchdowns a game on average in my mind.
Yeah.
I say 5.5 is a great over-under for him. And he put up 6 total touchdowns in the last 2 games. And that's, I don't know if there was a pick 6 or a defensive score in this game. Right?
Right.
So... this team I had very, very high hopes for. They started off strong 2-0, but then that loss to Trollers, it was just Trollers being dominant. They had that impressive victory against the Outlaws, holding the Outlaws just to 14 points.
Yeah.
But in recency bias, the last 2 games, putting up a total of 39. I'm gonna have to go with a C- for them.
Really, eh?
And like I said, like people are gonna listen to the grade and be like, "That's a low grade." But it's only because, in my mind, I had Gokuk finishing 9-1. Like, in my mind, you asked me preseason predictions.
Yeah.
My preseason prediction for them would have been 9-1, 8-2 at the worst.
I think D1's too good for that. Like,
I think they were that good, though.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think they were that good that they could consistently beat Outlaws twice in the season, beat Trollers twice in the season. Centurions and Arnold's not even contest against them, and Arnold's managed to beat them. So, like, my grade C- is based on the fact that I thought they'd have at the most 2 losses throughout the whole season, and they're already sitting now with 3 losses, back-to-back losses. Yeah. They do face Centurions in 3 of their last 4 games.
That's a good point, right? And Centurions, like, not to say that the Centurions are a free win, but Centurions, they do have to pick up their, fairly soon. Look, Gokuk had their worst 2 games this season, their last 2 games. They beat Outlaws early in the morning last week. They came against us. They didn't have a great game. I think, like, we had a good game. Iron Wolves did, so I'll give us the edge there. For the game last week, it was against, like, I played for Outlaws. It was raining. It was tough to score points. Guys were slipping. Guys were dropping balls. There was a lot of missed tackles. So that should favor the offense. But it was just, I find a rain game is tough to kind of, to see, teams' true identity in games like that. I'm going to go with a C+. I think that, you got to figure, like, their last win of the season was a very impressive win against Outlaws. That's Outlaws when they had their full roster. Well, not full roster, but when Steve was there.
Yeah.
And
holding up to 14 points was the most impressive.
Exactly. And I think that, like, you talked about D1, or I had mentioned that D1's very competitive. So, like, not surprised to see maybe them step up a few times. But 3-3, I probably expect them to be 4-2 right now, potentially even 5-1. But no, I'm going to go with C+. I would be worried if they drop the game this week. Then I think it would be panic time. Time to press the panic button if they lose to Centurions. We'll see what end up picking in that game.
Well, they're still probably going to make the playoffs, then just all show up in the playoffs and be dominant in the playoffs. So it's not really going to be that much of panic, right?
Right.
Once 4 out of 5 teams make the playoffs.
But you don't want to keep sliding, so I'm going to go C+.
What's your grade for Outlaws?
B-.
B-?
Yeah.
Sitting at 4-2, having the most points scored so far in the division, second most points against. I know they've been dealing with some roster inconsistency more so than they have in seasons past. I'm going to go with a C. Like, I kind of expected them to be where they're at now. I did not think that the first place team would have 2 losses midway through the season.
It's crazy how, like, no team's going to get an A.
That just shows the parity in Division 1 right now, right? Their impressive win was against Gokuk in the rain, and you were quarterbacking that game. Their loss to Centurions was a head scratcher.
Yes,
the Centurions outplayed them in that game, offensively, defensively, game plan wise.
I feel like Outlaws are missing that oomph this year. They're missing what makes Outlaws Outlaws.
Yeah, but they did get it. Like, they did show that in the Trollers game, right?
Yeah, they did.
They showed what Outlaws makes Outlaws, but that was one game, right?
Right.
And how many games did they not show it? That game against Arnolds, I feel was far too close for Outlaws football, right? Like, not to take away anything from Arnolds, but I do feel that
we were still
Outlaws
new at the
are
time.
a class, and it's supposed to be in a class of their own. Winning by 2 points against Arnolds, it did not show that, right? Like, the way they won 50-28 in their first game against Centurions, those are the Outlaws box scores we're used to seeing. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with, what did I say? B-.
Centurions.
2-3.
We got that
split.
impressive victory against the Outlaws. and they beat you guys by 1 point.
Yeah, we split in our last 2 games. We won last week. They won the previous week. Defensively, this team puzzles me. Right, they're giving up 50 points, 34, 57, 27, and 40.
Yeah, I think.
And wasn't their calling card their defense?
Yeah, but I think the D1 offenses are just too good.
That's what it is?
Which is what concerns even more for Gold Cup that only put up like 40 points last 2 games, right?
Yeah.
Because in D1, it's clearly the offense that wins the championship. There's no case. You can't make a case. Well, I guess Dylan would have begged to differ.
I respect that. But no, it's offense. Obviously,
You're not going to win a championship without scoring 30 points.
No. Ah, man. I think I'm going to go D+.
I'm going to go with a solid C for Centurions.
The win against Outlaws is impressive.
Yeah.
But in their 3 losses, they had no-shows. Right? They lost by 22 points, by 24 points, and by 20 points.
Yeah.
Like this week when we played them, they just seem to be missing something.
And let's look at my C. Like I kind of predicted them to be fighting for a playoff spot right now. They're in a tie for the last playoff spot.
It's a big game for both Gokok and Centurions to be coming up. That's a big game.
Yeah.
Centurions have been falling. Well, Centurions fell last week. Gokok lost 2 in a row. This is a big statement game for both teams.
Yeah. It's also a big game for Trollers and Arnolds, right?
Yes, that's true. And you got Trollers Outlaws. It's crazy how a division with 5 teams can be this exciting. No, for real.
Yeah. Arnolds. I'll go first.
Yeah.
So, 32 points a game, 29 points against. They're sitting at 2-3. Clearly, their most impressive win was the one against. The biggest impact was the one against Gold Cup, but I'd say the win against Centurion showed that you guys should not be in the same conversation as them. With you quarterbacking that game, starting 0-3, you're back against the wall, right? Like you needed to win a game that you needed to win at some point.
But I don't want to say our last 2 games were like playoff games for us, but they kind of were.
Yeah, but it might continue like that going into the season. Looking at your schedule, Trollers, Outlaws, Trollers. Your next 3 games gonna be tough. You're playing Trollers 3 times
from the last 5 games.
In the last 5 games,
yeah,
gonna be really tough. Look, I thought Arnolds would probably be the worst team in the division, and that's not the case right now. I'm gonna go with a B. You guys lost by 10 opening week. You lost, and then your other 2 losses are by a total of 3 points, right? Those games could have went either way.
We really, really should have won that game against Centurions.
Yeah, and if the clock was managed properly, not by the team but by the scorekeeper, you maybe would have had time to win that game against Outlaws.
Look, I'd be scared playing this too. We'll just never know. What was your grade?
I said B.
I'm going to go B-. Let me just say I love playing for this team. No, for real, there's something about this team that I think I classify us as like the misfits. I'm not sure why. I just feel like we're the misfits. You guys, you want to change our name? But no, I think, a really good indication of our team this year is there was a bit of a miscommunication that was the last play of the first half against Centurions this past week. Chris and Mace got at it a little bit.
Yeah.
Chris is a bit of hothead, and Mace was holding his own. And right after
Props to Mace though, like he really takes it and doesn't really talk back to Chris.
No, he does. But when he talks back to Chris, it's not.
It's much more respectful than the way Chris talking to him.
It's not saying Chris, you're dumb, blah blah. But we started the second half and both of them hugged it out, and it was like
literally give a hug.
Literally, and it was like, bro, I still love you, and it was
you
like.
You don't want to get in the middle?
What?
You don't want to get in the middle?
No, I watched. I was like, yo, that's my boys right there. Like respect. No, but for real, they actually both hugged it out, and it showed a lot of maturity from them, and I think that as a team. The addition of Christian has really helped us. I think
Christian's a baller.
I think we've really bonded this year. I know we've lost 3 games and we still have a losing record, but I really do like where this team is headed.
Yeah. At least you didn't lose in the same fashion that Centurions have lost those 3 games. Like Centurions' losses show that they're kind of in the lower echelon in the division, whereas your 3 losses, 2 of them came by a total of 3 points, right? Yeah. So it shows that you could have won those games, whereas they didn't have that hope for Centurions.
Yeah.
Division 2?
Let's go. Woo.
You want to start with the East or the West?
Let's go West, baby.
Okay. Let's start with Pocket Rockets.
So this is a team probably the one team I had no clue what to expect heading into the season. Right?
They started off hot.
Yeah.
2 wins against Marvels and Jagerbomb, where they were clearly underdogs in those 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Then a string of 3 straight losses.
Yeah.
Giving up 45, 59, and 47 points.
My goodness.
They either got to score more points or give up less points. Because they put up at least 30 in those 3 games, right?
Yeah.
So the offense not the problem. Peel's averaging over 200 yards a game, over 5 touchdowns. Maybe a touch too many interceptions. Alexis Ferrand's leading the way for this team like he usually does. They got that three-headed monster with Phil and Leo.
Yeah.
Look, I did not expect them to win those 2 games. If you showed me their schedule, I'd say they'd probably be 1-4 at
Really?
best, and there was no chance to beat Jagerbomb or hold Marvels to just 6 points, right? So
Yeah.
for that reason, I'm gonna go with I know it sounds a little contradicting because like they lost 3 straight, but I'm gonna go with a C+ for them.
Really, eh?
Because they did exceed my expectations of what I had for the beginning. So I'm gonna go B-. Yeah.
I'm going to go with a C. I know there was a lot of, like, I guess you can say unknown around this team to start off the season just because we hadn't really seen them all play together as this roster. But if you look at this roster, it's a very good roster, right? This is a Division 2 team that could go out there, that could win week in and week out. And, you know, their game against Nice CDs. Nice CDs won the last play of the game. Like that was a hard-fought game. The game against Idaho, 59 points. Massachusetts, 47. I'm a little worried this team may fall and may, you know, regret losing those tight games. You know, like, well, the tight games, sorry, I should say against Nice CDs. Because originally at 2-1, okay, it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
But then when you lose another game and you lose another game and they got Nice CDs again this week.
Yeah.
I don't want. It's not a must-win this week, but Division 2 is very competitive. So if you're Pocket Rockets, you really cannot let a game slip anymore. I'm going to go with a C.
What do you got for Marvels?
For Marvels, I still don't play this past week. Offensively, this team is just not clicking, and we know Iggy's a great quarterback, and he just does not seem to be on the same page as receivers, and I guess it's understandable to a certain extent. I think this team is missing one more stud.
Yes.
To make them competitive in the division.
So what's your grade?
I'm gonna go with a D.
Why not an F? What's holding you back from giving them an F?
The game against Nice is pretty impressive. And
yeah,
I do think I expected this team to be at the bottom. So like I do, contrary to what you believe, factor in a little bit of my expectations.
I'm gonna go with a D-. That win against Nice was really impressive, but that card of it's a new team with new players. 5 weeks into the season, you can't use that excuse anymore, right? Like I was there for that game as well against Jagerbomb, and there's clearly miscommunication.
Yeah.
Receivers are not understanding how to run the routes Iggy needs them to run, and Iggy excels at the quarterback position. Like Iggy does not lose many games. Like we've rarely seen him lose many games when he's quarterbacking a team, right?
Right.
Even when he's on a team, period, right?
Yes.
So. And you know he's dedicated. Like he doesn't just come up there and doesn't care. Like he loves flag football.
Yeah.
So at first, the first 2 games we were shocked. They put up 20 points total in the first 2 games. But now, like 5 weeks in, I do not understand how when we're supposed to run like a hook at the first cone, he's literally in the middle of the field. Like it's not take away from the receiver, from the quarterback, or anything like that. It's just stuff that should not be happening this late into the season. And when I see things like that, I'm like, it's. I don't know how they could climb that mountain at this point, right? Like, you're 5 weeks in. I agree with you. They're missing a stud to be like championship competitive, but they do have the roster to be playoff competitive at this point, right? So that's why I'm going with a D-.
If I had to ask who has a better chance to make the playoffs between them and Spritz Gang, who would you say?
Oh, them 100%.
You would say them still?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they play Spritz Gang. Look, I could see them beating Pocket Rockets and Spritz Gang.
Me too.
But there's a good chance that them and Spritz Gang are going to be the 2 teams not making the playoffs, right? It's going to come down to them again, Pocket Rockets, I say, for that last playoff spot.
That's true because for the playoffs, like everything gets jumbled together, right?
Yeah, besides the 2 conference champions,
right.
1 and 2.
I mean, look, right now they're only a game back of a playoff spot. Right? Yeah. Marvels are 1 game back from a playoff spot. Massachusetts are half game back from a playoff spot.
I cannot see Massachusetts missing the playoffs, though.
Me neither.
So let's jump to Master Chiefs now.
1-3. They finally got that victory. A well-earned victory over Pocket Rockets. Like, look, this is... You talk about heartbreaking losses. They lost 32-31, then 54-43, then 33-27, and then finally got that win. They're 1-3. That was a huge, huge win. The game this weekend against Idaho is going to be a damn good game.
And then they got Thunder Buddies.
And they got Thunder Buddies, which will be another good game.
Then they got 2 bye weeks.
Oh, man.
You saw the back-to-back bye weeks after that?
Is it? I'm going to go with a D+.
D+?
Yes. I was hesitating to go to a C-. But here, look at this team. You see the players on this team.
They're averaging 40 points a game. I'm going at least with a C+, if not B-.
A B-.
Yeah. I expected this team to be worse than what it was going to be, right? I think when we made the preseason predictions, they hadn't yet added Ashton to the roster. Mm-hmm. Clearly, like, you could say he's their best player, right? Mm-hmm. I have no doubt like this team's going to make the playoffs. Like, to me, there's no question they're for sure making the playoffs. Their conference with Thunder Buddies and Idaho is pretty loaded. I mean, the other one as well with Nice T's, Jager Bomb. But
so you think they'll go 2-0 against Spritzgang?
Yes, 100%.
I think they should too.
Next up, let's talk about Spritzgang.
I guess the reason I was hesitating a little bit between Master Chiefs is we want to find a way, like, for me, learn a lot about a team is winning close games and finding out who you are when your back's against the wall. And not to say that they haven't done well, but I would have liked to see them win one of those very close 3 games. And for Spritzgang here, we talked about, look, they're going to play Master Chiefs twice. Spritzgang have 2 wins on the season. They're 2-3.
Pat Saint-Martin's a baller.
Yeah, he is. He honestly really is. I like to see him. Was he playing with them in Bitter Boys in D1?
I think so.
Okay, good, because I like to see him in D1. Yeah, 25 catches on the year, 7 TDs, 285 yards, leads the team in yards and in touchdowns. So for Spritzgang here, they've lost 2 games in a row now. They lost to Thunder Buddies, they lost to Idaho, and neither of them were very competitive. I think they have a must-win game. The next game, they got a bye week, like we talked about last week. They have another bye week this week. Their game on July 1st is a must-win against the Nice CDs.
Why is it a must-win if they're...
Because that would have been 3 losses for them.
They have 3 losses already.
Sorry, 3 losses in a row for them. There would be 3 losses in a row for them. They have Pocket Rockets, they have Master Chiefs, Marvels. I just think that in terms of heading in, you want to head in the right direction and you want to make sure you don't slide under a slippery slope. The team that I see the hardest time getting out of a slippery slope in this division is Spritzgang. So I think if you find a way to lose 3 straight games, it's going to be tough to get out of that.
Well, first of all, to answer your question, he played 5 seasons with Bitter Boys in D1. 1,500 yards, 21 touchdowns in about 40 games.
There you go.
So you wanted to see him, but you probably played against him
several times. That is true.
Also, 18 interceptions, averaging like a pick every second game. Then I strongly disagree with you that their game against Nice is not a must-win. Nice are literally leading the whole division, sitting at the top at 4-1. You could argue they're the best team in D2 right now. Their next string of games will be against Pocket Rockets and Master Chiefs twice, and then Marvels. Those 3 teams are the teams they're battling for those last playoff spots. So those are the games that are must-win for them. This game, if they pull off the victory against Nice Cities, is a bonus. Like, they're not expected to win this game, and nor do they need to win it to make the playoffs.
I just don't know if you want to be heading into those string of games with 3 straight losses.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this team loses 3 in a row and then wins 3 in a row, right? I don't think it'll happen, but I don't think they should be hard on themselves if they lose against Nice Cities. I think their focus should right away shift to the next game against Pocket Rockets, which is a winnable game for them, and a team they are fighting for to make the playoffs. Like, winning against Pocket Rockets will help their chances and also diminish the chance of Pocket Rockets, which further helps their chances.
Yeah. It's a lot of chances. Well said.
We did Pocket Rockets. We did Marvels. Let's go Jager Bomb.
Jager Bomb 3-2. It's been a fun team to cover this year. They haven't had DeChesney the whole season. Obviously, we talked about. Is he going to be back soon?
I think so. Well, they're on bye till July 8th now, so...
Lord have mercy. They've been consistent. Win, loss, win, loss, win. So the next game should be a loss, if we follow that. Usually the game against Marvels was a dominant game. They dominated from start to finish. Their game against Nice Cities was also a really good one. They beat Marvels. Look, I mean...
In both their losses, they put up over 30 points, right?
That's true. Their game against Pocket Rockets that this doesn't seem to be the Jager Bomb team from years past, though.
Yeah.
Even with the Chesney throwing.
Wait, why do you say that?
I'm not sure teams fear them right now as much as they did in the past.
Is it the fact that they're not the same team, or just the division and everyone else got stronger?
It could be a bit of both, but I think it is a bit of both. I don't think it's solely the division got stronger. I think it is also...
I think this version of Jagerbomb is just as talented, if not more, than seasons
Oh,
past.
talent no different. But I'm saying the way things have panned out this year. Like, did you think the Jagerbomb of old could lose to Pocket Rockets?
Yeah. No.
You did.
No.
That's
Yeah,
what I
you're
mean.
right. No, I did not think that.
I'm usually right, bro. What can I tell you?
No, you're not.
40-32 in that game. That was a heck of a game. Pocket Rockets dominated that game, and then Jagerbomb came back. And look,
Pocket Rockets dominated that game. Peel threw 5 picks in that game.
their game against Nice CDs, they put up a great fight without DeChesney, too, scoring 38 points. But his 2-point conversion, a receiver on the team when DeChesney's there.
Yes.
Okay. So you lose one of your better receivers, too. 31-12. I'll go C+.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a C- because I did not expect them to lose that game against.
The first game of the season, eh? I said even the first game of the season they won by 6, right, against Spritzgang.
Yeah. Yeah, and then 2 out of their 3 victories are against.
Did we give her a grade for Spritzgang?
Did we?
Wait, did we just?
We spoke about them. But did we give our
I
grade?
don't think we gave her a grade.
Okay, we'll go back to them.
Okay.
The 3 victories at Jagerbomb are come against Marvels twice, and then Spritzgang, right?
Yeah.
So, what did I say? C- for Jagerbomb?
Yeah, C-.
So what's your grade for Spritzgang? Let's hope it's the same one.
Did we give a grade for Spritzgang?
Let's hope it's the same one that we gave if we did give one.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to Spritzgang. I can't remember.
I don't think we did. I think we just spoke about that. We didn't grade. I think I asked you, and then you just mumbled some stuff, and then.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't think we graded them. So they had that very impressive win, shutting out Thunder Buddies 37-0.
Also, very impressive win against Idaho.
Yes. Then they got 40 scored on them back-to-back against those 2 teams.
I'll go C.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a B. I did not think they'd win 2 games all season. Did you?
Well, I'll just say, at this point, I didn't think they would have outscored teams twice.
Well, they didn't outscore teams actually twice.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if you're counting Thunderbird's game as a win, then yeah, I'd give them better than a C.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. But look, this is the best version of Spritzgang I think we've ever seen.
Yes,
right? Like,
yeah.
this is not a team that is a free win against anymore.
Yeah.
Who were we just talking about before? Yeah, come on.
Yeah, so
We
nice
give a grade?
CDs. We gave a grade for Jagerbomb.
Yes, okay, good call.
Nice CDs.
4-1. Is it championship or bust for Nice Cities?
It could be, eh?
Because look,
At least make it to the championship game, and then once you're there, it's like you lost last year in the finals. What are you gonna do this year, right?
right, they've been. What's impressive about this team is they've won a lot of close games, right? The heartbreak gets to the other teams. They've won 33-32. Then they won the last play of the game 43-39. Then they won 33-27. They lost a head scratcher to Marvels. They won 41-38, right? So they found a way to win very tight games. Yeah, that loss against Marvels is really strange to me.
Oh, well, they were missing a lot of players. It was
Yeah.
late in the day. A lot of people had played like 1,000 games.
It's true.
already.
Andrew was there. Haney wasn't there. You were right about that one.
Didn't
That was the
Nick-
famous no snap game,
Didn't they have,
remember?
like Nick snapping for them?
But that was the no snap game.
The what snap?
Remember Marvels? The snapper lifted the ball.
Yeah.
That was that one.
Are you gonna grade them?
A-.
Why minus?
Why not A?
Yeah.
I think the loss to Marvels. No matter who plays, when you're wearing a Nice Cities jersey, you should be able to beat Marvels. No offense, Marvels.
That's a little harsh on Marvels.
That's why I said no offense.
Well, you did offend them.
Yeah, but
Just-
no offense.
You
So
just
you can say someone, fuck, you're ugly. But no, sorry,
your
edit that.
parents
edit
watched.
that.
Your parents watched the show.
No, edit that. You can edit it.
No,
Shoot. Sorry, I swore, folks. But you say, man, you're ugly. But no offense. It's kind of makes it all good.
your team's gonna get a penalty on the.
Are we talking about that or no?
We'll talk about it at the end.
Okay.
I'm going with a solid A for this team.
So you didn't answer my question. Is it championship or bust?
I said yes.
Okay.
I did answer. I said yes. I said it's definitely at least got to make it to the championship game. But then it's
But
still
championship or bust
But then,
means...
yes, let me finish my sentence. But then it still remains championship
Okay,
or bust
good.
because they made it there last year. Like, they already got to the championship game, so it's not going to be good enough to make it again. There's not going to be like a pat on the back. Oh, we finished second again.
Right.
Yeah, 4-1, sitting at the top of the division. You said it best with the close wins. They have a differential of 4.
Right.
I'm going A with it for this team. So we did Nice Cities, Jagerbomb, Pocket Rockets, Marvels, Master Chiefs.
And Demire coming back to, like, not only play full time, but to throw, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Let's go with Idaho. Sitting at 3-2.
the injury boys.
Yeah. I'm going to go with B minus C plus.
Okay.
That's kind of what I expected of them. Like, I feel they were one of the better teams of the division. Not part of the best. Like, I think preseason I had said Nice Cities, Thunder Buddies, and Jagerbomb would be the 3 best teams. I think Idaho were like right after that.
Yeah.
Sitting at 3-2, averaging 40 points a game. A lot of teams averaging 40 points a game in this division.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 43-7 win was really impressive. 59 points against Pocket Rockets. They only lost by 1 point in an opening game against Nice Cities.
And they're going to have... You remember Philippe Anger?
Yeah.
He's going to come back for these guys.
This season?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, he fits.
If...
Marvel.
We've got to remember Jason is not on the squad.
Yeah.
Did Jason?
But Jason was never on this. Was he?
No, you're right. Jason was never on the D2 squad. My bad.
Maybe he was and he got removed.
Okay, because I feel like... Didn't Jason start on this team?
1 second.
I must be going bananas.
Yeah, wasn't Jason Edwards on this team?
I thought so.
Last Brady.
Yeah, he was definitely on this team.
So what's your grade?
I'll go with a B. Very impressive win. And again, I like where this team is headed. Big game against Master Chiefs coming up. For them, it is championship or bust as well. You look at the roster they're going to put together when everyone's healthy. It could be a very scary team.
Yeah.
Jerome's coming back now. They have Flood, who I think is a very underrated player. Yeah, I'm going to go with a B.
Okay. Last but not least, Thunder Buddies.
Feels like we haven't played in forever.
Indeed, the last game was like a month ago. And still another bye this week.
There you go.
Um,
Sitting at 3-1.
Look, that win against Marvels was really unimpressive.
Yeah.
That game against Massachusetts could have went either way.
Yeah.
The win against Spritz Gang was pretty convincing. Well, both of them, except one, as we know now, was a forfeit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel... I mean, Master Chiefs were a lot better than we thought they would be. But those games against Marvels and Master Chiefs should not have been a one-possession game in my mind. With the roster Thunder Buddies have and the experience they have, right? And the quarterback play, like... Like, when you have the best Division 1 quarterback, you should not be winning by one possession, right?
Yeah.
Against teams that are not considered, like, the top of the division.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Like, they did not play Nice Cities yet. They did not play Jagerbomb yet. They did not play Idaho yet.
Yeah.
They're playing Master Chiefs again. I think their schedule just gets harder at this point. Yeah.
Your grade?
Did I give a grade?
Nope.
C minus.
C minus.
Yeah.
I was thinking you giving us an A minus. I'm not going to go A minus.
Well, to me, C would have been if they would have played the way I expect them to play and would have been like dominant through those 4 games against the 4 teams they played, right?
Yeah.
Like, their first 4 games were against Marvels, who have 1 win, Spritz Gang, who had no wins in the past 3 seasons, and Master Chiefs, right? So I feel they should have been much more dominant wins than what they have shown for, right?
I'm going to go with a B.
That really made you bring it down from an A to
Yeah, I was reading to A minus and B plus, and you're looking at it like
their first 4
the
games
Marvels game, especially with how many players the Marvels were missing, where it was
like if they would have played Nice Cities, Jagerbomb, Idaho that game, they would have lost
that day.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm gonna go with a B. I think that the thing is like about the team is that we're deep. And Josh just has an old connection back with Steve, as if like they're playing back when back in the 80s when they first started.
Yeah. All right.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I feel like we flew by. How long was the show?
Well, just the 3 last divisions were an hour.
I feel like the show was like 35
We
minutes.
did it in 2 parts. We did like...
Yeah, should we take a break and then you took a nap, eh?
You took a nap.
So my hair's all messy.
Yeah, so... yeah, it wasn't... It was like still going to be like a 2-hour show.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense now.
I think the break made it seem like it was shorter.
Yeah, my boot was back.
Yeah, thank God. There might be an adjustment to the foul language rule. Speak to your captains ahead of Saturday. Yeah.
Who's the captain of Iron Wolves? John, right?
Yeah.
John will... Okay.
What else did I want to say?
We didn't talk much about the games this past weekend, but there was a lot of like statement games this past weekend. A lot of good victories by teams.
If you want to hear how our grading system worked, listen to the intro.
It doesn't really matter. I'm not sure, this is completely random, but D1, D2, D3 has ever been like this close in parity.
Yeah, it's great.
Like, really. D45, you can say there's favorites, but
Yeah.
D1, a lot of big games this weekend. Okay, fine. Let's give the folks a little bit of something.
I feel I would say something else though.
You remember, trust it always happens to me all the time. You want this is D1. Okay. Which team needs to win the most this weekend, Division 1?
Off the top of my head, I say Centurions.
Okay.
You?
Greens go Cook, who are playing Centurions.
Nah, Go Cook at 3 and 4 would still make the playoffs. It's gonna be fine.
They probably would, but depending on what happens with Iron Wolves Trollers. What about D2? Who needs to win the most this weekend? D2. We got Pocket Rockets. Nice TDs. Jeez, I know.
Probably Pocket Rockets.
Really? I'm gonna go Master Chiefs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, if you had a bad one with 4-1 to choose, that'd be pretty bad.
All right. That's it for today.
That was it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed our grades. Did we give one A+?
No.
No, I think I gave an A+.
If we forgot a team, please let us know.
Yeah, please.
We'll apologize.
It wasn't nice CDs this time. It was not nice CDs. Remember nice CDs.
We've done it in the past, so you won't be the first. Yeah.
It happens.
Let us know.
Shout out to everyone who survived the rain games this past week.
Yep.
That was great. It's funny, Ludwig texted me, well, the games weren't cancelled. What the heck? I was like, well, it's MFL, baby. We play rain or shine. There's cats and dogs flying from the sky. You catch a cat, you catch football.
See you Saturday.
See you Saturday, folks. Be good.